Okay, we are gonna go across the way. Pulling all the ads. Yep, put the shredded on. Remember to move after the shredded on, cast his shreddation gas. Flamethrower. Careful flamethrower. Remember, you want to look and see which way the flamethrower is going, and then walk in the opposite direction. If you're gonna get hit by the flamethrower anyways, just walk through the flamethrower really fast. I wouldn't recommend doing it in higher keys, but depending on your gear score to the level of key, yeah, walking through the flamethrower for a second isn't gonna kill you. Flamethrower again. Three, two. Going to the next pull. So we are gonna pull the first pull here on the right, the scaffolding guy, and the 2 pulls on the right past the water. Now the problem with the scaffolding guy is he does root you, so you want to be careful as the tank. Make sure that you are in a reasonable position before he roots you, because he is actually going to root you. Watch the lava. Nice. He can root anybody, he does not just root the tank. But right on pull, when you're the only guy in combat with him, he is going to root you. Careful with wind up. Wind up. These robots are going to cast wind up and pick random targets. They'll then start spinning in circles towards that target until their wind up cast is over. So you want to make sure you back up or use some kind of CC or defensive during that wind up cast. If you use a CC, it does pick a different target. If you use a defensive, well, you'll stay alive when they hit you. And if you do not have a CC or a defensive, you want to just back up. We are going upstairs. Pulling the Dark Fuse guy, his buddies, and these guys with the surprise inspections. Not funny. So you want to be careful with this pull. Make sure you're watching the... Okay, I'm not going to call it that anymore. Make sure you're watching the... I can't call them flamethrower guys. Make sure you're watching the guys with the purple stuff. Make sure you're using CCs and or stepping away from them when they jump behind you. Okay, we're pulling the boss next. Pull the boss off to the side. Careful with the electric rush. So, you want to focus down the ads first. You can attack the boss right now, which does not have a shield, but remember that after the ads die, the boss will take 100% increased damage. During that 100% increased damage phase, that's when you want to deal as much damage as you can to the boss. Correct. A lot like the giant tree dungeon. Like the Everbloom. Careful with Sonic Boom. Oh, Mist of Tyrannosaurus. Yes, a lot like Mist of Tyrannosaurus. So right now during Jumpstart, focus the boss. I know there are 2 more drones up, but that's because we pulled them from downstairs. These are not part of the boss fight. Make sure you're interrupting Trick Shot. Keep focusing on the boss. Alright, moving the boss away from that spot. Remember, after the AoE cast, after the AoE phase, the boss is then going to put electricity on the ground. Make sure that you move her away from the electricity. Watch the blue circles. That's cool. Blue circles again. Again, focus down the mechs. You want to focus down the small ants. This tank is doing 1 pack at a time in a Cinder +8. What kind of tank is he? I mean, if he's a small tank in a +8, and you're sure your healer can heal more, just tell him to pull more. That's what all the healers used to tell me. They used to be like, a druid? Yeah, druid would probably be fine and pull more then. All the healers in Shadowlands used to tell me, pull more, pull more. There was one healer who... I was running a city Court of Stars one time. And in the Court of Stars, this one healer, he says, so help me you hide from one more mechanic and I'm leaving. He literally asked that the players stop hiding from mechanics. He was a really good healer, but he got mad that we were not standing the mechanics because we were not doing enough damage to line of sight, he said. I disagree with that. We pulled from upstairs somehow. I disagree with that theory. Like, I feel like you should always do the mechanics. But the healer was not happy that we were line of sighting stuff. And so we stood out in the rest of the mechanics. And in Court of Stars, there are a lot of mechanics that you have to line of sight or move or interrupt. We need to focus down X and Moon so we can finish off Big Mama. 7% left on the boss. Okay, now we can go get rid of this blood guy. Pull the 2 Dark Fuse soldiers into this guy. But, yeah, I used to get told all the time to pull more. So maybe if you just tell him pull more, he'll pull more. And the catch is, you have to be ready for him to pull more throughout the entire dungeon. If he's pulling 1 pack at a time in the first room, he's probably going to pull the whole hallway in the next room. So, I would be careful with that, though. Nope, he's doing just 1 pack the entire time. Oh, gotcha. Careful with the circles. Well, what's this tank, or this healer? He is 662, 2900 rated. Yeah, this healer's really well rated, actually. Yeah, I was gonna say, you probably could have come and tanked this. Hindsight 2020. Or come and healed this.
Overcome this trial.
Careful the blood. Make sure you're interrupting the... Alright, flying down to the next pull. And I'm taking my debuff with me. I should have stayed up there for him to dispel. Kinda looks cool though. Focus down the scaffolding. That hit a lot harder than I thought it would. Pulling all our guys together. As soon as the scaffolding breaks, I'm gonna move everybody back away. So you guys are okay though. These crabs are not gonna kill us if we accidentally pull them. I would rather not pull them, but we don't have to be careful with our AoE or anything. Ads are almost dead, and then we are going upstairs to pull the next couple of ads. Sadly, the scaffolding guy still has a lot of health, though. Oh, never mind. I was looking at the wrong ad. Or do we have both? Do we have both architects alive still? Oh yeah, we had both architects alive. Yeah, that's okay. We'll just bring them with us. Pulling the Shredded on 3000. Watch the shredder. Flamethrower, be careful with the flamethrower. Oh, we butt hold.
You guys stay right where you are.
Shreddation again. Okay, there's not a good place to stand where we are not most likely going to pull those ads. If we pull the ads, it's fine. Just be careful not to stand with flamethrower. Shreddation. Style the shreddation. Shreddation again. Flamethrower. Careful that flamethrower cast. I'm eating all the mechanics. So the sound was coming over my headphones earlier, but then they beeped like they reset, and then it stopped coming over. So if it is beeping, I am probably standing in mechanics. I had to double check that everybody was here. Okay, be careful with the lines. Barreling charge. Takes barreling charge over bombs. What? Oh, you must have lagged. Don't take that. Arrow stream of fire. Okay, now you're good. I told somebody that the other day. Okay, be careful with the lines. No, you don't. Okay, you're fired. Okay. Be careful with the arrow. Make sure you're taking the arrow over the bombs to clear the bombs out of the way. Remember that these ads do not share health. So you do want to make sure... Ads. I don't know why I'm calling them ads. These bosses do not share health, so you want to make sure that you are killing them relatively evenly. It is hard because right now we have a heavy melee group, the way that I constructed the party. So it is hard to kill Braun, but you want to make sure that you're killing Braun. As well as what's her face. What? 47% left on the boss. Oh. Maybe you missed the dispel. Weird. There's 40% left on the end. Let me look. No, he's not healing you. You're bottom of his heal. Careful with the arrow. Legend Disappointment. Said Saltas. He dispelled you. Use a defensive. That bomb is going off. You were nether walking. You may not have gotten the dot. Gotcha. 10% left on the boss. Ah, you're good. The bosses are almost dead. Careful with the Darling charge. straight to my back. Careful with that cast. Make sure you're not taking it straight to your back. First rule of tanking, never turn your back to the boss. The tanks ate all the slimes on the honey boss too. It wiped us. Ouch. We skillfully dodged the honey slimes earlier. I'll clip it later so you can see it. We skillfully dodged the honey slimes on Cinder Brew Meadery earlier. That is skillful. Oh. But that's unfortunate. Careful with the kelps. I think he stepped in a bomb. Oh. Remember that these kelps try to heal themselves. You want to make sure that you're interrupting this restoring algae. Keep them from healing themselves. You can use CCs or interrupts to stop the algae cast. Restoring algae. Be careful with the swamp face. Swamp face is our boss. I got him. You're good. So the reason I say be careful with swamp face is because I have a bad habit, and I don't know how, but somehow the first DPS who hits him, he dies. If I'm tanking this key, first DPS who hits him dies. So I know you're not typically careful with the boss, but swamp face specifically, I would be careful with swamp face. Watch the water. Careful with the water. They did change the mechanic on this boss, so the healer is not picked by the vines, which is kind of nice. So the tank is picked by the vines instead. If you are the tank, you want to be careful with the vines if you have the vines plus the tank frontal. Because the vines actually do damage to you while you're chained together. Bind together, I don't think it's a real word, like, term. So, if you have the chains, if you are chained together plus the tank buster, you want to make sure that you are using defensive to keep this sludge claws as the tank buster, to keep the tank buster from one-shotting you. Mudslide, go to the left. 51% left on the swamp face. So generally what the community has decided on, like the World of Warcraft community, is left is safe. So I would just keep in mind that if you are chained to somebody, they're going left. Because, hold on, I ate the tank buster. Left. So if you are chained to somebody, even in a pug group, it's pretty much decided that left is the safe direction. Now, I do believe, always left. Yes. I do believe there are times where right is the correct way to go. But generally, always left. Also, don't worry about resetting Swamp Face, because I've tried to reset Swamp Face, and I don't know if you can reset Swamp Face. I ran him all the way to the other side of the boss room, and he was still hitting me in the healer. So, you know, all the way across the water at the other waterfalls, Swamp Face does not reset. Careful with the water. %9 left. We just now got a battle res left, but we are going to, or back, but we're going to save it because I think Swamp Face is dead. Careful with the water. So the healer died right at the very end, but Swampface died too, so... Don't forget you release right at the last boss. Hopefully the healer did not disconnect. Oh, he's good. He released. I was gonna ask him if he DC'd. Oh, wait, maybe he didn't know that's where you release. Oh. Alright, we are pulling bubbles back. So I don't recommend tanking bubbles on the bridge, just because it's hard for everybody to avoid the bubbles. Yeah, the bubbles from bubbles. Backwash, use a defensive during backwash. Remember that backwash is going to deal a lot of damage to your party. Bubble burp, step out of the bubbles. Splish Splash is his frontal. Make sure you are not standing in Splish Splash. Backwash again. I don't know who came up with this guy, but they need to make him a stuffed animal. Like all the Murlocs, because he's adorable. Bubble burp. Careful not to stand in the bubbles. 28% left on the ad. Pull him this way. Backwash. Use a defensive during backwash. 15% left on the 15% left on the ad. Bubble burp. Careful not to stand in bubble burp. Now we're gonna bring him on the bridge because he's almost dead. Already pulling all the ads together. Watch the electricity. Okay. No. Well, I was gonna say that mechanic, but now I'm not. Be careful with the blue circles. Don't stand in any of the blue circles. Make sure you're interrupting lightning bolt. Spark Slam. Use defensive during Spark Slam. Don't forget that when this Juggernaut casts Spark Slam, he's going to hit the ground and, well, electrocute everybody. So you want to make sure you're using defensive during that cast. Spark Slam again. Watch the blue circles. And remember, the purple stuff randomly comes through the party. You want to make sure that you're staying out of the way of it. Purple stuff with an undisclosed name. Don't walk off the cliff. No, that's what I almost did just now. If you walk off the cliff, I don't know what they're called. The bubble guppies eat you. So don't walk off the cliff. Make sure you're interrupting lightning bolt. Careful with the lightning bolt cast. Lightning bolt is going to be our priority interrupt here. Scaffolding's up. Focus the scaffolding. Yeah, our healer died first. The DPS followed. Right, I pull that all the time.
Overcome this trial. Win my
But then this is one of my worst keys, so maybe it is crazy to pull that. Lightning bolt. Rapid construction. Focus down the scaffolding. Scaffolding. Architect blast. I mean, if it's not a normal pull, then that makes sense that we struggled with it. Interrupt lightning bolt. Other groups where I'm not tanking. Oh, okay. That's weird then. Next, we are going through the doorway. We're going to pull the ads on the left and right of the doorway into the ads that are across the road. So up the stairs. So 2 ads here. Into the next ads. He says never done it in its life. Maybe that's weird. Careful with the purple stuff. Electricity on the ground. Yes. Nice. Careful with the blue circles. Make sure you're not standing in any of the blue circles. Step out a lightning bolt. Is here, little guy. Not. Don't say that. We need him on the last boss. Yeah, he has a 10 floodgate timed. He has a mythic raid boss down even. Maybe if... Okay, if he's a mythic raider and he runs dungeons with his guild tank, it is possible they always run the same or a similar route. Careful spark slam. We ended up over percent though. Watch blue circles. Blue circles again. So as soon as these 2 ads die, we're going into the boss room. These ads have about 33% left. Watch the circles again. Going into the boss room. So we have 4 minutes, and I believe this is a 3.5. And I believe this is a 3.5 minute fight. So, as long as we're really careful with our health, we should be fine. Careful to stop falling from the ceiling. Circles on the ground. Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch is going to be your tank buster, and it's going to leave a 3-second dot on you after it punches you. You want to make sure you use some kind of defensive so that you can last for 3 seconds after Thunder Punch. Leaping Sparks. Leaping Sparks, he summons sparks that leap after you. They kind of look like frogs. You want to make sure you are walking these leaping sparks into a pool of water. The leaping sparks will electrify the pool of water and stop following you after you've kited them into a pool of water. Giga Zap. Make sure you are taking Giga Zap away from the party, but also keeping them off of the pools of water. You need the pools of water for the jumping phase, so you want to be careful. Failed this +8. Unlucky. But yeah, I mean, CanaryBoo's not an easy key, but it's also not a forgiving timer. CanaryBoo's timer is not forgiving. That's actually one of the portals I do not have this season still. All of my keys are over 8, but it is an untimed 11, my CanaryBoo. So, yeah, that sucks. But you have to pull a little bit. You have to pull a little big in CanaryBoo. Not really. Test. There we go. They're back on. Careful with the electrical circles. This cinder was free, but tank wiped us on the honey boss. And pulls 1 pack at a time the whole dungeon. Gotcha. But we have our